how to build a 7-figure plus advisory business. Please welcome to the stage my friend, Derrick Kinney.
Thank you, Nick. It is great to be with you all today. We have a problem. Many of you feel overlooked by the high net worth clients you most want to work with. You see, I know that feeling because that was my problem too. But I discovered something that changed that, and I began to attract the exact clients I wanted to work with. In the next 20 minutes, I want to solve that problem for you too. Here's what's at stake. If you don't attract more high net worth clients that you want, you're going to miss your business goals, you're going to be frustrated, and you're going to wonder, why are other advisors less talented than you working with the clients you want to work with? I can't allow that to happen. So here's the deal. How many of you, by a show of hands, for the next 20 minutes would be willing to think a little bit differently for 20 minutes? Raise your hand. I'm in the right place. Awesome. Well, I'm not here today to change your life, and I'm not here to change your whole business plan. I'm here to give you the simple steps that lead to big results. There's one thing in the world everyone has in common. We are all carrying a roller bag of luggage. When we're younger, this luggage feels light. It's filled with our hopes and our goals and our dreams. But as we get older, this luggage gets heavier, and it's weighted down by our worries and our pain, our problems and our fears. And deep inside all of us, we want one thing: someone to lighten our luggage. Now, all of you here, you're financial advisors, you support advisors, you invest in advisors, but what you really are, you are luggage lighteners. Do this for me. Say to the person to your right, you are a luggage lightener. I love it. All right, 5 steps to go from overlooked to overbooked. By the way, hit that QR code now to download 10 critical conversation mistakes advisors make and how it costs them clients. Hit that QR code for that free download now. All right, step number 1, if you want to make it rain, connect with pain. If you want to make it rain, connect with pain. Now picture this. You're at a social event in your local community, your favorite beverage is in your hand, and you're mingling around the room, and a man approaches you and says, "What do you do for a living?" And you say, "I'm a financial advisor." He says, "Oh, okay, great." And you say, "What do you do?" And he says, "I'm a personal trainer. I design workout and eating plans so people get in shape." You say, "Great." You might exchange a little bit more conversation. Well, later on in the evening, a woman approaches you, and she says, "Well, what do you do for a living?" And you say, "I'm a financial advisor." And she says, "Oh, okay." And you say, "Well, what do you do?" And she says, "You know how busy business owners and professionals, they always put others' needs above their own and their health takes a back seat? We design custom-tailored workout and eating plans that fit within their tight schedule and fit within their tight budget so they can feel good, but most importantly, they can look really, really good. And one day, they can be the cool grandparent that has the energy to chase their grandkids across the floor." We specialize in personal training for busy, caring professionals. Pause. 1 week goes by, and you look in the mirror, and you say to yourself, "I need a personal trainer." By a show of hands, how many of you would call the man trainer number 1? By a show of hands, how many would call the woman trainer number 2? Just shout out, why would you call trainer number 2? Yeah, understood the problem? Yes. So that was one simple dialogue, but figuratively, a week later, it caused you to call that person. When you say you're a financial advisor, you understand that, but not everyone does. You see, when you say something to someone that's new, they don't always know what to do. When you say something that is true, it draws them closer to you. No credentials, no products or services or features or benefits, no titles. Let me give you 3 quick examples. You know how so many people worry about running out of money in retirement? Number 2, you know how when you take your car to the mechanic, it can feel like you're either getting taken advantage of or being overcharged? You know how when you talk to your teenage daughter, it feels like what you say goes in one ear and right out the other? Were there any brain cells that you had to burn to understand any of those 3 things? No. You see, the magic is, it's called your you know how statement. You know how connected with your instantly relatable problem. Quick story. I was hired to do a private workshop for a large group of New York advisors about a month ago, and the CEO called me 2 days later with a great story. He said, Derrick, you'd want to know this. After you left, within 48 hours, one of our advisors picked up a $5 million account, which is really cool by itself. But what happened was, it was this advisor's next door neighbor. And what happened was, he said, you need to hear what the neighbor said to the advisor. The neighbor said to the advisor, I thought you were just a financial advisor. I didn't know the problems that you actually solved for people. Memorable people make the most money. Step number 2, stir the problem, don't solve the problem. Stir the problem, don't solve the problem. I had just stepped off stage at a keynote with about 900 advisors in Nashville. A line of people formed to want to talk to me. One woman was really upset. She said, Derrick, if you had told me what you just shared on stage 10 years ago, I could have quadrupled the size of my business. Here's why she was mad. She was solving the problems that the prospect asked about in the first visit. By the way, quick time out. We call them visits and not meetings. A meeting you have with your proctologist, it feels cold and impersonal, but a visit feels warm and inviting. A visit you have with people you care about. Let's have a visit together. Remember, words equal wealth. I told her, when people ask you, how do I solve this? Ask them this question. Is that something you'd like my help with? Is that something you'd like my help with? And let them see you typing, would like my help with this, okay? The second thing, which is very, very important, ask 2 personal questions in the client visit. This might be the most valuable thing I tell you today. Ask 2 personal questions. My personal favorites are, number 1, what is the biggest financial mistake you've ever made? Number 2, of all the decisions you've made, what is the one financial decision you are most proud of? Now, by itself, pretty good personal questions, would we agree? Here's the problem, though. Most advisors swim in the shallow pool of advisor questions. Those questions would be good, but I need to march you down to the deep end of the pool. We're going to climb up the ladder. We're going to walk out onto the diving board, and we're going to dive right into the deep waters. And we're going to give those personal questions, get this, pre-meaning. Pre-meaning. Here's what that sounds like. David, can I ask you a personal question? And you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. What would you say is the biggest financial mistake you've ever made? Pause. Now see, I could have asked the question, but giving the question pre-meaning invites depth. It invites vulnerability, and it invites the person to go deeper. Remember the game you're playing. Never forget the rules. In the client visit, you have 2 objectives. Build rapport and relationship fast. That's the name of the game, okay? Now, by the way, what if they ask you, well, why do you want to ask me a personal question? Do this. Follow me on LinkedIn. I will put a video out this afternoon on what to say if they question you and how to turn exclusivity into profitability. So follow me on LinkedIn. All right. Step number 3, go from slow to grow. I was frustrated. I was leading a team meeting when I was an advisor prior to selling my firm, and I wanted to go and grow. But my team felt hesitant and slow, and I knew I had to do something. I stood up, and I did something really crazy. I said, I've just had a medical emergency, and I'm in the hospital for 3 months, and I can't see clients. What are we going to do? It seemed like an eternity before anybody said anything. One voice said, "Do we need to help resuscitate him? Is he okay?" Wait a minute. If Derrick can't see clients, we've got to figure out what to do. All right, let's start planning. That was the moment that changed everything in my business, because we went from the me show to the we show. The me show lasts a couple seasons and goes out, but the we show lasts forever. You see, that was the moment where my team became empowered and they bought in. And what we all realized, I was the problem. We began to make our systems and processes Derrick optional, so that any advisor could step in or I could step out. It allowed us to scale quickly to 3 other cities in Texas in about a year. They needed to see that to realize, oh, we need to be part of the solution. If you are in these seats today and you feel like, why am I carrying all this pressure? Why am I the one to have to bring in all these clients? There's ways to empower your team to help, and that's one. All right, crazy story. I was brought in to do another private event in Philadelphia. This was about 2 months ago, and I insisted that the advisors have their staff and their team there, and here's why. I asked the advisors, how many of you would love it if your team could help you grow your business? Every advisor hand shot up in the air. So I asked the staff and the team, how many of you ever get asked, what do you do for a living? All their hands went up. And so instead of wasting the opportunity to say, well, I'm an assistant for Jim Smith or I'm an assistant for Susan Jones, we crafted messaging that the entire team could use when they are asked, what do you do for a living? Here's what we landed on. This is custom tailored for each group. You know how so many people worry about running out of money in retirement? Our team helps fix that problem. You love meeting with our advisors. So here's what happens. I do the private workshop. I get a DM from the CEO that Saturday morning, a woman named Beth was at a birthday party, gets asked, what do you do for a living? Beth weaves in the conversational framework that I taught. She picks up a $3 million lead, gives it to the advisor she works for. That's a new client. The point is, words equal wealth. The right word, spoken at the right time, said to the right person about the right painful problem, leads to great profitability. Number 4, communicate like you cook a brisket. Communicate like you cook a brisket. Now, I live in Texas. We love our barbecue in Texas. My favorite is brisket. Now, how do they cook brisket? Low and slow. You've seen this. You might have even had this happen yourself. You get caught by surprise. Someone asks you a question. You don't know the answer to it. Your heart rate picks up. Your voice goes higher, and you talk faster. And you sound nervous and less trustworthy. What I say is, when you face a high-stakes conversation, go brisket. Talk a little bit lower and just a little bit slower. And you're automatically perceived as more credible and trustworthy and the person people want to work with. Here's what that practically sounds like. You're toward the end of the client visit, not meeting, prospect visit rather. You're talking about now fees and how you work. So many advisors, they lean in, their body language leans in, their voice gets faster. Basically, it's telling the prospect, get ready, you're about to be sold something, alert, alert. The way to stop that is we let our relaxed body language kick in. We lean backwards, open-handed, let them see our torso, and we say nice, low and slow. Now let me share with you how we work with our clients and how we get paid. Now, you know, we're not the only advisor in town, but why so many people choose to work with us, it's because we specialize in retirement income planning, or insert your specialty. The key is you want to go opposite of what your body is often telling you what to do. When you face that moment, when someone asks you, what do you do for a living? Oh my gosh, I got to remember, what did Derrick say to do? At a minimum, just go low and slow. And say it like you're desperately distraught over their financial situation. when someone asks you, you want to say, whether it's this gesture here, or it's, so many people, they worry about running out of money in retirement. It is just not right. Through our 5-step custom tailored framework, we design a strategy for each client so they can live the life they want and they can have confidence and peace of mind. We are retirement income specialists. Now, let me tell you a quick story about a couple, et cetera, et cetera. The key is your words are wealth. Whether it's through DMs, whether it's through leads you bought, ultimately there's a moment where people need to make sure you get them and you feel their pain. Make sense? All right, last step, number 5, how to have more meaning and money in your life. When I first became an advisor, I was 26 years old, but I had a problem. I looked like I was 13. Not a gray hair, not a wrinkle, no database of high net worth people to call on, but I had a passion to support local education and invest in young people. And so I had this crazy idea. I took a $50 Amazon gift card for the teacher and a $25 Amazon gift card for the student, and I marched over to my local high school and began to give a teacher and student of the month. Got to breathe life into these people, got a picture of them back in the newspaper days. That was cutting edge technology back then. And people began to call me. I was shocked. Within about 3 months, a woman calls me, and what she said completely flipped the script on how I thought about my business. She said, Derrick, we know you're new, we know you're young, but we want you to be our advisor because, get this, you care about what we care about. She said, you care about what we care about. I was like, oh my gosh, that took the weight off my shoulders. That meant I didn't have to be the smartest. I didn't have to be the best looking. I didn't have to be the most well-connected. I just needed to care about what the people I most wanted to work with cared about. That was powerful. So I began to do that at all our local high schools. Here's what I learned, 2 things. If you want to magnetically attract high net worth clients, do these 2 things. Own a problem. Figure out a problem that keeps your ideal high net worth prospect awake at night. It might be something crazy like if I'm entering a room with high net worth business owners and I say something like, you know how successful executives and entrepreneurs, they worry about giving money to their spoiled kids? Yeah, you see, that relates. Whatever it is, find the pain point. Don't worry about your features and benefits of your products and services or your titles or your credentials. Pain. If you want to make it rain, connect with pain. That's the key. All right. In closing, you are the medicine for America's financial pain. I cannot think of any other more talented advisors than all of you for high net worth prospects to work with. But remember this one thing. Everyone in the world is carrying a roller bag of luggage, and it's packed with pain and problems and worries and fear. And the more problems and pain there are in the world, the more your opportunity looks really, really good. But the people who can use the right words to say, so ideal clients come their way, they'll be the winners. Go be luggage lighteners. Don't overcomplicate this. If you want to make it rain, connect with pain. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.